He doesn't even have a verse. He's making a cameo on his own album. Go subscribe. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews. It's Knowledge, and today I am reviewing the new single by Snoop Dogg called Murder Music. This is featuring Benny the Butcher, Jadakiss, and Busta Rhymes. And I had to do a single this week because there were good albums that dropped, but none of them were hip-hop. I was going to review the Amine album this week, but surprisingly, that was trash. I can't even do it. I barely got through it once, so I went the opposite way, and I chose a single that I know will have some hard bars and flows throughout, just given this feature list alone. And like I said, this is the first single off of Snoop Dogg's forthcoming album called Algorithm, and he's bringing the heavyweights in on this track. So right off the bat, when you compare him to Benny and Kiss and Busta, he's already the fourth best MC on this track, but he actually may know that because he doesn't even have a verse. He's making a cameo on his own album on this track. He does not have a verse on this entire track. He's just singing the chorus. And that being said, I don't want to be too hard on Snoop, but that might make me listen to this whole album if that's going to be the style where he just has a bunch of features and he's barely on it, because Snoop ain't been coming with it for a while. Now, that being said, of these four MCs, I already gave these other three props. They are legendary MCs. We already know that. But Snoop, while he can't compete with their bars, he does have the best album in the discography of all four people on this track. So, not to diss Snoops too much on this. And not only do we have great MCs coming together for this track, but we've also got a great producer, Nottz. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nottz is the most underrated classic hip-hop producer ever. Not sure why we don't hear his name get mentioned with the greats. I think maybe because his style is so versatile, you don't maybe necessarily recognize a Nottz track right off the bat. But check his catalog. He's produced for just about all of your favorite MCs and maybe even several of your favorite songs by your favorite MCs. Case in point here, he does not disappoint. He comes through with a bassy track with a piano roll medley and some vocal samples on top. Snoop in his intro says, "We on some murder, murder, kill, kill." This is a classic hip hop line. Know you've heard that before. Murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. You've heard it from the likes of Eminem, Redman and Method Man, Tupac, but you might not know where that comes from. It's actually originated with Masta Ace on his track Slaughterhouse. Speaking of underrated, Masta Ace, if you don't know Masta Ace's pedigree, check him out. Dude was dropping well thought out concept albums before that was ever a thing, long before Deltron dropped, and Masta Ace was an originator there. In fact, this track Slaughterhouse, where he says murder, 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 kill, 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 and originated that line. It was originally a concept album that was kind of a parody of gangster rap. And it's funny that it was picked up by a lot of gangster rappers, but Masta Ace, a true innovator, coming through with bars on Slaughterhouse. Benny comes through with the first verse and he kicks it off hard. He says, "I'm really like that. I ain't just write the shit for the camera. I did in my city what Michael Vick did in Atlanta." I like that line, but there's some good players coming out of Buffalo that he could have mentioned too. And I've heard Benny address getting shot in Houston a couple times since it happened. Hell, he wrote a whole song about it. But this is maybe the most direct and most bravado mention that he's had of it so far. He says, "Heard I took a shot. They was asking if I was good. I looked the shooter right in his eyes when that trigger got pulled." And then Snoop comes in with the chorus, and this is kind of hilarious for Snoop though. He didn't come through with a verse. He's only used on the chorus, but not just that. he couldn't even be bothered to do much with the chorus. He's literally just repeating murder music. And I'm not mocking that style at all. You don't even need a chorus on a posse cut with rappers like this on it. But it's funny because this is his track and this is the only part that he has to say anything on, and he's just repeating 2 words over and over. Jada comes through for verse 2. He says, I'm just stacking, call me El Guapo, and I bet you never had a brick from El Chapo. Tuesday, I just play the crib and make tacos. A lot of fronting like they nice, but they not though. And I like the juxtaposition here of being so much of a drug kingpin that he was working with El Chapo, but then on Tuesdays, he's just doing normal shit like making tacos at his crib. And these days, I'm sure he's making a little more tacos than he is flipping bricks, but still, that's some nice bars right there from Kiss. Busta Rhymes is in the place. Word indeed of Jada, Benny, and Busta. I'd say that Busta put out the best album recently and also still has the best flow. So let's see if he comes through on this with the best verse on the song. He seems to be addressing that and going for the jugular on a Control type vibe. From the very beginning, he says, at times I be unleashing the wrath that most fear. I don't discriminate, I even bodied close peers. Could these peers be Jadakiss, Benny the Butcher, maybe Snoop Dogg? He continues with more immaculate brags. He says, you need to describe this jewelry I write to save the shit on a server and type the way that I speak for moving space on a cursor. I get the first bar that it's so great you need to download it and keep it on a server, but the cursor not being able to keep up with the way that he speaks, I think is what he's trying to get at. And I agree. If I'm typing out his lyrics, it's very hard to follow because it's such an unorthodox flow, even though we've been hearing it for 25 years or so. And Busta definitely closes it out, so there's no question. He says, shut the fuck up. It's better to be watchers, listeners, and observers. Because if you not, you'll fuck around. That's how, like, you get murdered. Nottz mixes in a little sample of Snoop himself from his classic Murder Was the Case to close it out. So hey, Snoop's not just in an intro and in a chorus. We hear Snoop from when he was in his prime chopped up by Nottz at the end. And I really like this track. And I gotta say, if the rest of the album is like this, I'll definitely be checking for Snoop Dogg's algorithm when it drops. Thank you for watching my review of Snoop Dogg, Benny the Butcher, Jadakiss, and Busta Rhymes Murder Music. If you like this, go ahead and hit like now and hit me up in the comments. If you didn't like it, also let me know why in the comments. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently, so subscribe to my channel now. And until I see you next time, keep buzzing. Fucking man says subscribe.
But if he's on his channel saying that somebody's album is better than mine, unsubscribe to him.
No, your album's the best, man.
There you go. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.